Well, NATO Secretary Mark Rutte says the alliance is stronger than ever. At his cabinet meeting today, President Trump expressed disappointment with those U.S. allies.
We're very disappointed with NATO because NATO has done absolutely nothing. And I've always said 25 years ago, I was somebody that wasn't a politician, but I was always involved in politics and I understood politics. I said 25 years ago that NATO's a paper tiger, but more importantly, that we'll come to their rescue, but they will never come to ours.
Joining us now is retired Admiral James Stavridis. He's a CNN senior military analyst, the former NATO Supreme Allied Commander, also a partner at the Carlyle Group, an international investment firm, and he serves on the board of advisors for a handful of defense-related companies. Admiral, thanks so much for being with us. What's your reaction to Trump's comments there?
Well, first and foremost, I would say NATO did come to our rescue. They came to our rescue after 9/11. The only time the NATO alliance has gone into combat was after we were attacked. The Europeans didn't have to come with us to Afghanistan, but they did. They fought, they bled, they died. I commanded tens of thousands of European troops in combat in Afghanistan for 4 years, and they took heavy casualties. So that needs to be clarified. And then secondly, here's what I think Secretary General Mark Rutte is driving toward, and it would be a sensible way for the alliance to work together. It would be for the European nations who have minesweepers, frigates, destroyers, contribute those to opening the Strait of Hormuz. I think that's on the table, Boris, and I think that's where this will land.
Iran certainly believes that a takeover of Karg Island in the Strait of Hormuz in that area might be on the table. What do you see as the risk and reward of such an operation?
I think the risk is very high. It's a small island. That's a good thing. But unfortunately, for purposes of hacking it, it's right next to the coast of Iran. In other words, if we got Marines onto Karg Island, they would be subject to, for example, artillery fire from the shore of Iran. Also vulnerable to drones. I would guess the Iranians who watch CNN, like everybody else, are learning that we might be going to Karg Island, and they're increasing their defenses. They're preparing for a potential attack. So the risk to those Marines, if they go ashore, or the 82nd Airborne, if they're employed, is increasing. Here's an idea. Why don't we try and blockade it? We then accomplish the objective of taking that oil transshipment point that's so crucial to the Iranians, take it away by blockading it. You can then avoid putting boots on the ground. I suspect all those options are being considered.
There's also another threat coming from Tehran for another important area of overseas transit, and that is the base of the Red Sea, essentially. An Iranian military source warning that Tehran could try to disrupt traffic there. How likely is that? How could the U.S. potentially prevent that?
This is, so far, the dog that hasn't barked. And the way Iran would go after this, probably not directly at the Suez Canal, which is very highly defended, but they would try and shut down the Bab el-Mandeb Strait at the very bottom of the Red Sea, Boris, and they would do it by using their proxies, the Houthis. You're showing it right where it says Yemen on the map. That's the area where the Iranians, would encourage the Houthis to go out and try and shut down that crucial strait. I think if we continue to pound Iran and they are losing in their minds for military currency and want to increase their negotiating position, they may not only hold on to the Strait of Hormuz, they could try and close that strait at the bottom of the Red Sea as well. I am worried about it.
Admiral James Stavridis, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your expertise.
You bet.
Up next.